Miss Liz, tea time, yeah, making a difference, one cup at a time, tea time, yeah, Miss Liz, tea time, yeah, making a difference, one cup at a time, tea time, yeah. So be sure to grab your tea, grab a seat, and tune in to Miss Liz, tea time. Making a difference, one cup at a time. Tea time, yeah. Tea time.
Well, welcome to Tea Time. It is evening tea time, and I am back. That's right, the last tea time of this week, and I am in the house with Erica Leibovitch. I hope I'm saying it right. If not, she's going to say it when she gets up on the screen. But tonight we're going to talk about mental illness. We're going to talk about a lot of different things, and we're really going to dig deep. I feel that this tea time is really going to make a difference. If you have any comments or questions or any support that you'd like to show with just a little heart or a hand, or if you have a question that you would like us to answer and you may think that we have the answer, don't be shy, put that in there as well. But before we get all of that started, we're going to get you over to the YouTube channel, get you to subscribe to that little doorbell so that you get notified when all these incredible tea times go up. Again, check out all the tea times. You can watch them in your house, in your car, on a picnic. And again, like I said this afternoon, if you're at an event and you're bored, you can always turn on Miss Liz and you can listen to a tea time. But don't say that you're listening to me because I don't want to have anybody come at me. So let's get the disclaimer out there. Let's get the bio out there. And let's get Erica in here. And let's spill a different kind of tea. Tonight's tea is going to be Time Empowers All. So grab your tea, grab your coffee, grab your water, grab your juice, all of that good stuff, and tune in and share this tea time. Disclaimer for Miss Liz's Tea Time live show. Miss Liz myself is going live using StreamYard. Before leaving a comment, please grant StreamYard permission to see your name at StreamYard.com. Please be advised that the content brought forward for any Tea Time show hosted by myself, Miss Liz, is always brought forward in good faith. However, it may bring forward dialogues and opinions that are not representative of my platform. The facts and information are perceived to be accurate at the given time of airing. All Tea Time guests and audience participants are responsible for using their good judgment in taking any action that may relate to the discussion. The content brought forward may include discussions for some where they may be emotionally at risk. It's significant to know that this show is engaging in discussion forums only to offer and inspire awareness and connection and is not providing therapeutic advice. If you have any questions about the disclaimer or the panelist discussion, you may freely contact me, Ms. Liz, through my email at bookingmissliz@gmail.com. Moving forward, should you choose to voluntarily participate in tonight's show in any aspect, I myself, Ms. Liz, welcomes you, and should you decide that this show is not made for you at this time, I respect those wishes and will see you at a later show at a later date and time. And again, we're going to do tea times this year in 2024, Thursdays, 3 p.m. and 7 p.m. If you see it on a Monday, Tuesday, then yesterday we had a Wednesday, it is a surprise tea time or a returning guest that would like to come back and spill another cup of tea with Miss Liz. And in this house, we don't spill the beverage, we spill real life stories and words. Excuse me. So now a little bit on my guests. And yes, Miss Liz is rambling because I've been rushing all day. It's been in, out. It's been one of those days. So a little bit on my guests. Erica Leibovitch, I'm not saying it right, is the owner and the founder of Fragments Mental Health, building the pieces together, where a portion of proceeds from workshops and merchandise goes into a fund to help low-income clients begin to get the help they need. Diagnosed with anxiety and has been bullied, she knows firsthand the battle it takes to get help and share her own story. Through talk therapy and having the tools to manage it on a day-to-day basis, she wants to spread the message that you are not alone. It is okay to ask for help and take medication. Erica is from Ottawa, Ontario, where she resides. She enjoys creative planning, crafting, listening to music, reading, and spending time with her family. And you can find out more on her website, and that you'll see on the screen and in the show notes. So let me get Erica in here. Welcome, Erica.
Thank you.
You know what? I see that little red light that goes live, and my anxiety is like, oh, here we go again. And I've been doing this for 5 years, but every time I'm just like, Let's just ramble, right? Let's just get it out there. S- So, Erica, I'm going to start off how I start off all the teas. Who were you as a little girl, and who are you now as a grown lady?
Oh, that's a great question. So, as a little girl, I was quiet, shy. I was bullied, so I was afraid to be the person who I was. And then now I've learned to use my voice to share it. I still am a little bit timid, but I've learned to slowly share my voice with people and to become, the voice today of mental health.
And I said that this afternoon. And the reason that I asked that question is who we are as youngins, because a lot of it has to do with what we do in our future as adults. If we're silent as a child, then we become speakers, right? We become motivators. If somebody has never heard or advocated for us for our mental health, we become the advocate. And that's exactly what you've done, is become the advocate, correct?
Yes, absolutely. We all have a voice, and sometimes our voices could be scarred from our childhood. We could be scared to raise our voice and to do that. But really, through the help of talk therapy, I've been able to share my voice.
Let's talk about that a little bit. Talk therapy for the people out there that might not know what talk therapy is.
Sure. So, talk therapy is basically psychotherapy. So, I've been going to psychotherapy for about 7 years now, doing various different forms. And so I've explored different things in my past through um, bullying, and dealing with different emotional backgrounds and things.
So let's get into this business. I really want to get into it. How did the name come about it, and what does the business do?
Yeah, so that was inspired by my journey in mental health. As I mentioned, I've been going for 7 years, and especially during our time pre COVID, really noticing that, very prominent in getting help, seeing that there's a lot of services out there geared for people who do have money to get that help, and a lot of people who can't get that help with those who have money, but then those who don't have the funding, who do need the help, and then those who in private practice do have the time and availability to see people who can offer that support, but don't have that funding to offer. So being able to offer that service to others is something that I saw as a need in our community.
So, Erica, you mentioned in your bio, it mentions that anybody that does the workshop and merchandise goes to a fund for low income clients. Do you want to share a little bit about that as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So I do offer two workshops that I have designed, that are inspired by what I've learned through my sessions in therapy that I do. I also do want to mention that all the things that I do share as my business is through my lived experiences. I am not a mental health professional. I do state that fully and clearly. So they are to be used in addition to and not a replacement of. So one of the tools that I've created that are inspired and enhanced are a my mental health toolbox, which is a tool that is used to help you calm down. So I go through a workshop where I teach you what goes in your coping box and what you can use to help you calm down. And then in addition to that, I have a follow-up workshop that I designed as an 8-step fight or flight plan. So what happens when you're in that fight or flight mode, when you're in that, you're stressed and you're feeling stressed, and what are you going to do to help yourself calm down? So really it's done for me when I don't drive, so I took a bus, and what am I going to do? I'm going to get off the bus, I'm going to walk myself through the step. I'm like, I really thought, well, there's no plan out there for that, so we need a step on how to get ourselves to calm down. So I developed this plan that I was really proud of, because there is none out there that I saw that was like that.
And it is true. There isn't a lot of programs out there that do follow ups. We do like a 4 to 6 week course, and then there's a phone call, right?
Right.
It's nice to have these follow ups, and I really believe that the people that can make the difference are the people that live it. You know, the advocate for what we needed as a client. And that's what I like to do as well, is bring that voice to the table for the voiceless that says, I didn't receive this from this service, and I didn't,
Right.
I would have preferred this. There's like a question, like a survey, right? At the end
Yeah,
of when you
so
do support groups.
absolutely. So, like you would have in the moment, you can reach out to a crisis line in your community. But in that moment, you can also put down your plan and then bring it back into your sessions or your mental health professional or your doctor, and then discuss it and come back on how to find other tactics to help you with that situation.
I really like that you have the toolbox, the coping box, because my first email for Miss Liz was a toolbox tea party. So when I seen the toolbox, I was like, she gets it, man. Like, we all have these toolboxes where some might have a hammer, a screwdriver, and all of these
Yeah,
different things. But when it comes to mental health, we have the anxiety, we have the panic attacks, we have the isolation, the suicidal thoughts. That's our toolbox, right? So
right,
when we put that stuff in our toolbox, then we take out the tools by repairing ourselves.
right.
So when you thought of the toolbox, is that what you were going for? Was like all of what's inside to put into the box, or?
Yes, it's a combination of sort of having like your emergency plan kind of ready to be there. So it's something that you want to put together prior to those issues happening, because you really want to be sort of in a calm state of mind. So whether you're discussing this with your mental health professional or you're doing it on your own, so you kind of either want to go and target either your favorite things, or you can go and target your five senses. So those are the things that I do talk about in my workshop as things that you can put into your coping box.
So, and how long are the workshops, Erica?
My workshops range around an hour to an hour and a half.
And are they like once a week, once a month?
It's a one-time workshop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, is there a price for the workshops? Like, where can people get that from the website?
Yeah, at this time I'm currently offering them virtually and in person,
Okay. So,
and they are around $30.
$30. Okay.
Yeah.
So for $30 for 1 hour, and is this like in a group setting, or like because you're doing virtual and in person? So the ones
Right.
that are in person, are they like in a restaurant setting? Are they in like a community group setting?
So they do vary. At this point, I don't have any plan, but I have looked at various opportunities because I do want to offer them to those who aren't able to leave their home. So I can offer them on one-on-one, or I can offer them in a group setting, and I would keep them at the same price. I do want to make my services as accessible as possible to everybody.
So and that's something that's really important that you just mentioned, is the virtual events help people that have social anxiety and stuff like that as well, right? Because sometimes
Right.
it's hard to leave your home. I know, because I do a lot of virtual stuff. When I go out in the public, I'm just like, oh, I want to get home. I get
Yeah.
panic attacks, and my children are like, Mom, like, what's going on? And I'm just like, I just can't do people right now. I got to get home.
Right.
I'm used to people online and a screen, and the people in person. It's just like, oh, this is too much. Is that what you experienced, Erica?
I have not experienced that. I have been quiet. I've been a little shy at events myself, but I do know that, I can feel that a little bit in people. So I do want to offer that as an option to people as well. So I do make that as an option too.
So I want to get into some of the merchandise, because I really like the merchandise, and that's exactly
Yeah.
why I reached out to you, because I was just like, oh, somebody who actually gets it. you have you have a sweater that says "I am" on it,
I do.
and then you have the prescription. But on the prescription merchandise, it's actually the diagnose and medication and side effects and all of that as well, correct?
Yes.
So how did you come up with those outlines?
Uh, yeah. So I love designing things, and I thought about it from the perspective of like, why is there not a nutrition label out there that's around mental health? I've seen it for other professions, but not for mental health. And why are we not talking about it being okay to have medication, not going to therapy, and being resilient? So why not? And I want to put that out there as a message of hope and inspiration to others.
Well, I think it's really important because years ago, I was on a lot of medication, and I took myself off. And I don't recommend that to anybody else out there. Talk to your physicians and that. But I just got to a point where the medication was my life. I couldn't do anything without the medication, and I was just like, this is not going to work for me. So, so medication does work for some and it doesn't work for others. But that doesn't mean that we need to put the message out there that stay away from medication, because
Right.
sometimes the medication does help someone.
Yes, absolutely.
So, do you want to get a little bit into your personal story, Erica, about your mental health?
Sure. So it started for me when so I've had anxiety as far as long as I can remember, but I was only formally diagnosed about 7 years ago. It started when I didn't realize the simple tasks that were easy for other people were harder for me to do. They just things like going on a date were just so difficult for me to do. Tackling certain things like being afraid of heights, going downstairs, going to the bathroom often, just doing different things. And then the aspect of being bullying and dealing with the loss of my mom at the age of 16 from the loss of a brain tumor. So dealing with those kind of situations were very traumatic and very hard to deal with alone. I've always known I've needed help, but I didn't know how to get that help. So one day I reached out to a group, being very vulnerable, asking for help, and a bunch of people reached out to me. And one person I reached out to, thankfully reached out to them, went for my consultation with them, and things worked out really well for me. And I've been going to them ever since. And I just want to say that's not the case for everybody. Sometimes you need to go to more than one individual mental health professional before they can be the right fit for you. So don't be discouraged if it's not the right fit if you go to one person. But it just worked out for me, and yeah.
I want to talk about bullying. I'm not
Yeah.
sure if anybody can see. I don't want to put my chest out, but I'm also wearing pink Thursday, and we talked about it before we went live. It was a
Yeah.
tea time guest that was on in season 1, Mark Williams, who has this platform for prevention of bullying. I really want to connect you two together after this tea time, and it's just to bring the awareness, right? Is that
Yes.
what we don't understand, we don't need to start insulting and bringing it down. Um, so when did the bullying start in your life, Erica?
It started when I was in middle school. I was in middle school, and people made fun of me for the way that I looked and how I was feeling. Um, it was just ongoing. It got to the point where I didn't want to go to school. I had to go to school. I was forced to go to school. I did go through it, and I didn't have many friends, so I made some friends, but it took a lot of effort. And then after middle school, I went thankfully to a high school where I was more accepted into friendships. Um, Thankfully, the bullying stopped there. But it definitely took a toll on me, and it was hard to be able to know who to accept as friendships.
Well, especially in elementary school, right? Like
Right.
it starts young, and then you start to believe what these people are saying,
Right.
right? And then you're like, well, maybe it is me. Maybe I am that what they're saying I am. And I think it comes from a lot of hurt people, right? And sometimes I try to understand what the bully is going through. Are they being bullied at home? Are they being bullied as well? You know,
Right.
did your bully and people who bullied you, Erica, ever say sorry?
No, they didn't say sorry. So I believe that the target of my bullying for why I was looking different and everything is I wasn't diagnosed until I was later in my late teens with a condition called PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. So I had excess hair all over my face and my body, and I would get my menstrual cycle earlier and things like that. So there were extra things that just looked. My body was different and everything, so it made me different to my peers. So I believe that was also a cause of why I was bullying. So I didn't know what that was. I knew I felt different. And so I couldn't explain that.
And you shared a couple articles with me that you got to share your story with an incredible platform. Do you want to share a
I
little bit
did.
about that?
Absolutely. So I was approached to share my story on the Olympian Silicon Loman's We Are Unsinkable platform. And so I got to share my story on there, and it was very, very rewarding to do that.
And I really appreciate you sharing that with me because I was just like, whoa, way to go, girl. Like, I love
Well,
celebrating other people. If anybody doesn't know who Miss Liz is, Miss Liz celebrates everybody.
thank
I'm
you.
just like, oh my God, somebody had a baby. High five, way to go. Somebody gets a new car. I can't drive, but hey, you can drive. That's a nice car. Like, you
Absolutely.
know,
We need to celebrate more.
right? We need to celebrate, and we've gotten to know each other because we've been talking back and forth for
Yeah.
maybe a couple of weeks, since we've
Yeah.
been back and forth, and I've gotten to know you personally a little bit more, and I really enjoy when my guests do that, when they come out and they reach out to me and they're like, Miss Liz, can we have a conversation? Yeah, I want to know you a little bit more, right? We break the ice,
Absolutely.
and me and Erica have been talking, and we want to meet each other because you're like an hour away from me, so we want to do that as well. So um, I'm working on that to get over to you, and then maybe you never know, we might end up doing something together, collaborating and creating something together. Um, we have a couple of questions that are coming in that I want to get them out to you, Erica. They're not coming in the studio, but they're coming in privately, and they
Sure.
want to know what your mental condition diagnosis was.
General anxiety disorder.
So could you share a little bit about that for people that might not know what that is?
So anxiety kind of is looks like it's very different for a lot of people, but it could be like the onset of like a panic attack, feeling like you're having like a heart attack, kind of feeling like, but you're not. Constant use of the bathroom, um, having trouble calming down, so which is why I created the coping box. There's many other symptoms, but those are just the few that I struggle with.
The next question we have is, what is the coping box?
So the coping box, or my coping toolbox, is which is what I call it, is a toolbox that is used to help you calm down from stress or anxiety. And it's filled with it could be filled with your favorite things, or it could be filled with things catered to your five senses.
So is there like sensory things in the toolbox, or do people put stuff in the toolbox?
Yeah, so you can definitely put sensory things inside of it. I have a huge collection of sensory toys. They're my favorite things to go buy. But quite often, one of the things that I do recommend putting in there is a journal, because journaling is so important. Journaling, it's okay to put like in a stuffed animal. I also have a small little scrapbook that I've created in mine, a word search. So it really comes down to what helps you during that time to help you calm down. So if you're at home, if you feel like a candle calms you down, you want to light a candle, or if you want to have a cup of tea, or if you want to have a bubble bath, it all comes down to what works for you.
And we talked about this. We talked about tea when we had our
Yes.
conversation a couple nights ago, and I was like, "Miss Liz is not really a big tea drinker, guys. I serve tea, but I serve teaching education where I serve storytelling and words. Do drink my tea once in a while, but I'm not a big tea drinker. I have to be in the mood for it. Every day I start off with a coffee, and then I have a tea in the evening or midday. But a lot of people are like, Miss Liz, I don't even like tea. And I'm just like, well, guess what? Miss Liz doesn't really like tea either. You know, the tea is just a time of calming and bringing people together,
Yeah,
recharging, reflecting, and releasing. That's what tea is. Because when you make a pot of tea, you got to put the water together. You got to put the tea bag in the cup, or the loose tea, or it takes time to process. And that's what life is all about, is the process of life, right? And I
absolutely.
think and I think with mental illness, with what I liked about your product and with your merchandise and that, Erica, was the calmness of it. It was
Oh, thank you.
simple, but it was calm. And that's what got my
Yeah.
attention. And I was like, I need this girl on Tea Time. Like, I don't know what her story is, but I just need her on Tea Time. And that's how I get guests, guys. I just go and I knock on the door. Like, hey, you want to come have some tea with me? You know, and that's how it works for Tea Time. Um, I want to talk about your hoodie with the prescription on it. I want to go back to
Yes.
that. I'm not sure if you're wearing it. Are you wearing it?
Yes, I'm wearing my sweatshirt. Well,
So on the sweater, you guys can see that it says mental health on it, and then it has like the side effects and everything. It's just like a prescription bottle, right? Like a food ingredient that we put in our bodies and that. So do you want to explain a little bit about that, Erica?
sure. I'm just gonna sit down, but I will.
Yeah.
So, so we do have the ingredients on here. So, I have acceptance, empowerment, hope, strength, and resilience, because those are all important to know that you are, even if you don't feel like they are at the beginning when you start your process in your mental health journey, because it is a journey. You have to know that when you start anything in your mental health journey, the first step to even knowing that you want to get help, it is a big step. So you have to reward yourself for that. It's a big step and you should be proud of yourself. So knowing that you can do that. But so, knowing that you're accepted for who you are. Others may not see that, but you have to accept yourself for who you are. And then there's empowerment. So being empowered is important. And then hope, because there is hope at the end of the day. I know it might be hard for you to feel like that sometimes or all the time, but there is hope. And strength, because together, when you have your team to support you, whether it's with your doctor and your mental health team to help you all together, it's a team. It's not just you working, it's your whole entire team to help you feel like you're to help you feel whole. But yeah, so then you have your counseling to help you with your mental health. Then you have your medication. So if you go to take medication, know that it's okay. It's okay to try different medications if one doesn't work for you, to let your doctor know that you need to take something else. Self-care, whatever self-care looks like for you. That could be many different things. Then baby steps. Know that it's going to take some time, and then it's not going to be a right away fix, and then it's going to take some time. And then sharing your story at the end of it all. Your story is going to be someone's aha moment to help them to maybe get their own help.
And it does make a difference when we start sharing our stories, because then people don't feel such alone, right?
Yeah.
And with mental illness, that's how we feel. We feel like we're alone, like we're the only ones battling this. When there's a lot of people out there that are battling the same thing, but
Right.
just in different ways.
Yes.
Each story is different, but there's a lot of similarities in there. Um,
Yes.
I want to talk about the baby steps. You said
Yes.
baby steps.
Yes.
For anyone who's watching and listening tonight, for their mental health, baby steps are deeply important, because it means you're still moving. It means you're
Yes.
still moving forward, getting out of bed, taking a shower. Those are success stories in my eyes.
They are.
I'm not all about the 6 figures and 7 figures and I got a big Mercedes beam. If you get your butt out of bed and you're dealing with mental illness, you
Yeah.
have a success story in my eyes. So,
Absolutely.
we need to start celebrating that. Somebody taking a shower who was afraid to take a shower for a month and finally took that shower. That's a success story. These are the stories that we need to start sharing.
We do.
And you have something that's called Proud to Be Me. Is that merchandise, or is that like a program?
No,
What is?
so that's not me. That's an organization that is about bullying as well. They are also about bullying. They have different things. They're very youth oriented. So I would recommend go checking out their website, proudtobeme.com.
I wasn't sure if it was part of you. I have a lot of stuff, guys. I have my little notebook here that I doodle. I'm doodling while I'm doing these interviews. I do a lot of research because I like to get as much information as I can out there while I'm having this conversation with my guests. For my listeners out there, if you have any questions or support and you just want to put a heart to show that you're watching, go ahead. You know, now on Twitter, you can like something and it doesn't even show that you liked it. So it doesn't show who liked it. So we have that in today's world. Um, but I want to talk about your tea because the tea you gave me, Erica, was called, the tea you gave me was Time Empowers All. So why did you
Yeah.
give me those three words?
I gave you those words because I feel that when we are struggling with our mental health and when we are ready, it takes time for us to want to share our story. And when we have that time, it gives us the empowerment to share our story with others.
And empowers. When you hear the word empowers, what does it mean to you, Erica, as an individual?
It means to empower mean to me means to be able to relate to somebody else in a way that resonates with me.
So the resonation.
Yes.
And the reason that I ask these questions, why you guys give me these words, is because I want to understand a little bit more. Because for me, it's time travel, right? Your T is the past, your E is the present, and your A is the future. And I'm looking at these words and I'm like, time. She needed time to process things when you were younger, right? You went through a lot. You were bullied. You
Yeah.
lost your mom at a young age. Mental illness, and to empower yourself. You're a speaker. You're a motivator or speaker. You're a founder and creator of this platform. This business that you own, and your future is all. So all is involved. So you used your time and the empowerment to bring it all together. So the word all, is that what that stands for you?
Yes. To bring it all together.
And the reason that I say that is because in the top of your bio here it says bringing pieces together, I believe, right? Um, how do you have it up here, Erica? I'm trying building the pieces.
Building the pieces together. Yes. So my slogan that I wrote for my business is all about encompassing the when you go to therapy, you're learning about your past and why your present is so prevalent right now to you. So building those pieces together, why this is happening for you right now.
And do you believe that everything that's happening to you needs to happen so that you have the story that you have, Erica?
Yes, absolutely.
So when you say building your pieces, are you building like a building? Are you building the toolbox? Are you building a puzzle? What are we building here? Where are we going with this building?
We're just building the stepping stones to our positive our own version of a positive future of what that looks like for ourselves, and that's very different for each of us.
I like that you said that because you had mentioned baby steps,
Yeah,
and we need those baby steps in order to build.
yeah,
So I
absolutely.
really, I really like the flow of the tea tonight because we're two women who are being authentic and we're opening our hearts up and sharing our stories and being real and raw. And Miss Liz's hair is a mess, and it's been a rough day. Those are the kind of days that we have sometimes, right? Where we just have to rush and do everything. It's a rush. Um, so I
Especially
want
in
to
a world where we're so fast and quick to want to be on social media, have to feel like we have to dress up and be ourselves and be on. It's so nice just to be raw on ourselves.
right? The rawness, right? Let's
Yeah,
bring rawness back. No makeup, no nothing.
yeah,
We're just like I
and
put a
that's
little
really
bit
what I
of bling
wanted to
bling
do.
on, but
Yeah,
I mean, and my hair is up in a clip. But I'm hot flashing. I'm 50. We need to be real and raw, right?
yes,
And that's what I really liked when I reached out to you, Erica. Is I seen the rawness in you. I seen the authenticity in you, and I was just like, let's get this story out there. Let's get Erica's, you know, what you're doing. And again, I really want to meet you in person, so we're going to work on that. And who knows?
awesome.
And if anybody wants to meet with Miss Liz, like you guys just send me a DM and we can meet. I mean, you know, sometimes if you just need to share a cup of tea, we don't need to drink tea, but we can share the tea. and that. So I want to get into some of your hobbies here, because you have some hobbies that we resonate with is crafting. So when you're crafting, is it like scrapbooking? Is it coloring? What kind of crafting do you do?
So I've dabbled into a lot of different things. So I actually design all of my own graphics and stuff. So I do my own merchandise. But I do love to do creative. I do a little bit of scrapbooking, card making. I do creative planning, which is paper based planning. So time management, and then I've really done a whole lot of everything all of my life. Ever since I was a little girl, my mom always taught me about crafting, beading, painting. So that's what I've done. So, going back into my hobbies, um, I this has not been my first business. I've actually started in doing graphic design. So I designed my own cards and bookmarks and stuff. Then I did jewelry design, and then had my own events planning business. And then I went to school, and then I said, hey, I want to kind of encompass mental health and events. So this is where this business all kind of came together.
Yeah, and you've had some really incredible businesses in the past. Do you want to share a little bit about those businesses?
The project one that I shared with you.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So I was between jobs. And so I wanted to do something that sort of gave me a purpose to do something on daily. So I reached out to the community, asked if somebody would be interested in doing this event with me. I had $0 to invest. I was between jobs. I was living in a shared condo space, so I had no money to invest in anything. So this was done on a $0 budget. So it's called the Empowering Women Project. So I worked with this woman, and I approached the public, and I asked if anyone would be interested in sharing their story through videos and photos. I was grateful to receive a donation from TCC in Canada, who donated their space to us. And then we had Shauna Snipe Photography, who was our videographer and photographer. And then we had a few makeup artists who joined us as well to help us do my project that I had visioned in my mind. And so together we collaborated and got this project done. We ended up having a mother and a psychologist who joined us on this project, where I was also able to share my story and inspiring why this project was meaning a lot to me, because I knew, we're all out there. We all have a short story to share. We all have something to share with the public, and whatever that message is, we need to share it. And so that was a message that I wanted to come across and do.
Well, one thing that it really inspires me, Erica, is you started off by saying you had no budget for this. You had no funding, and you were able to pull this off. And I
Yep.
say this all the time to my listeners and to everybody that follows Miss Liz. You do not need to have money to make a difference in someone's life. You just
No.
need the time and the consistency and determination into it. Have a vision, have a mission, and just go for it. If you don't try, you don't know. There's so many people, well, I don't have this and I don't have that. Well, you're right now, you don't have anything because you're not even trying, right? And
Right.
you tried. So that's inspiring. And that's what really pushes me to do what I do, because all of my work is pro bono as well. Because I want to show the world that you do not need a red cent, one penny, to make a difference in someone's life. I could be
Right.
doing something else right now, but I'm here sharing Erica's story because I want to share Erica's story, because I want to empower people and I want to inspire people to get out and just share, because sharing is caring and sharing is healing. If we don't start sharing our stories, we cannot make a difference. Everyone's going to go around and say, well, I don't know what your issue is. I don't know what your problem is, because nobody's sharing. But when we start sharing our stories, then people can say, oh, I get it. Me too. I live with that too. And oh, I'm not such alone now. And that's why I really reached out to Erica to get on Tea Time, is because We need everyday people who are making incredible differences in people's lives. Those people that you took those pictures and videos, you made a difference in their lives, Erica.
Yeah,
And
thank
you
you.
didn't have any funding, and you
Yeah,
went your way and you did it, and you made that difference. And
yeah,
I'm sure those people are 5, 10 years down the road saying, "Yeah, whatever happened to that project?" So the reason that I asked you to bring that project up and that your old business up is because I've been trying to encourage Erica to bring it back because I think it's really what we need. And Erica, you did it with no budget. You can do it again,
yes,
and we can get the funding, we can get sponsors out there. We can have the listeners out there that are saying, you know what? We have two women here that are doing amazing stuff for no money.
yeah.
We can, there's your investment.
And
Look
I've
at
been wanting to bring it back. It was only because of COVID that I was not able to do that.
exactly. And this is the message that we need to push, right? People with mental illness can make
Yeah,
incredible differences too.
right,
Uh, there's so much stigma on mental illness that as soon as
right,
you say I have mental illness, you kind of get like this, oh, get
mm,
away from me. And
right,
there's nothing wrong with us. It's in our
no,
brain. It's the chemicals in our brain. It's not us as
right.
individuals. And that's why I really push to have guests like you on my platform, Erica, is because you're an incredible, beautiful woman and you've done a lot of incredible things. And I want
Mm,
you to
thank
know
you.
that you have made a difference. And just getting to know you has made a difference in my life.
Oh,
Um,
thank you.
so hopefully we'll get our fingers crossed and Erica will bring it back and we can
Yes, we
empower
will.
more people. Who knows? Maybe that's where Miss Liz and Erica are going to meet and put that together. I want to talk to you about planners because you said
Sure.
that you created planning sheets and you have planning sheets, I believe, on your website as well. Correct?
Yeah, so I'm currently working on planner printable planner sheets that you can download. So I'm very big on time management because it helps with your mental health, being in control of your time. So everything from so I'm currently working on just getting the basics up there. So for your basics on time management, for your daily, weekly planning, down to wanting to offer everything to your financial planning, to anything you can think of. So if you're listening, you want something, reach out to me and let me know. I am working on it. It's in the process.
So now I want to get into. I'm gonna switch it again, and we're gonna go in
Okay.
another direction, right?
Okay.
So I asked my guests all this one word to describe themselves and their favorite color, and your one word that you gave me was determined, and your favorite color was pink. So let's get into the word a little bit, and then we'll get into the color.
Okay. So I have always been determined all of my life. It's a word that I've always used. Um, Ever since I was in, we'll say, I guess, middle school, I've always been told the things that I would not be able to do. Even more so in high school, the things that I cannot do because I had learning disabilities. So they would say, oh, well, you wouldn't be able to do the things. Well, I was able to turn that around and say, well, no, I've been able to go to school. I've been able to graduate from several college diploma programs, build my own businesses because I believed in myself and I'm working and doing this. So,
And that's what's inspiring, right? Is
yeah,
all the people that say you can't do anything, go out and prove them wrong and just do it,
yeah,
you know? And one thing I've learned over the years is less is more. Don't tell people everything,
right.
surprise them, bring some results to the table and say, boom, there, now what do you got?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you gave me the color pink. Why pink? And I'm wearing pink Thursday, so why pink?
I don't know. It's a color I've always loved since I was a little girl. So it's a color that I always gravitate towards, even now. So pink is my favorite color.
So does it represent anything? Like, is there a feeling behind it? Is there a
It just kind of
memory
reminds me of
behind
like,
it?
I guess it kind of reminds me of like that fairy tale princess feeling that I wanted to have, that I so long to have.
Oh, I think you have the princess story already.
Thank you.
You and me, when we get face to face, I'm gonna bring my little tiara, and you're gonna be my little princess. And
Okay.
there's your princess story. Eric, I want to get into music, the importance of music. What
Yes.
does music mean to you with your mental health?
Music means everything. It's the one thing that I've turned to before I can even go and look at therapy. Music was my go-to. I would listen to everything from ever since I was a little girl. I was introduced to Mariah Carey, Celine Dion, to Barry Manilow, Barbara Streisand, all the way today to country music. A big, huge fan of Leanne Ryan's. Um, so music has always been a huge influence in my life and something that I'm passionate today about. People often ask me, like, what do you believe? And I said, I believe in music because I believe in the lyrics. I believe in what it stands for. So that so music is what I believe in.
And didn't you mention Paula Abdul to me the other night?
I do. I do like Paula Abdul.
I was just like, was I talked to so many people in a day that I'm just like, no, we're talking about music. Somebody told me Paula Abdul, and I was sure it was Erica that told me
I
that.
was looking at going to that. I do like Paula Abdul, Taylor Dane, and I was like, well, we'll see. I'm Jewish, so I'm like two Jewish people wanting to go. Two Jewish people. I'm Jewish. Why not? Let's go have a party.
Right? Let's get some music.
Yeah,
Let's have some fun.
yeah. Let's go have a party.
Now let's get into the reading. And you also have some incredible resources on the website for mental health and that as well. But what books do you turn to for you?
Oh, I read a variety of different things. I do try to read some self help books right now. Not really in that vein, but I do like to read some historical Jewish historical books. Um, I'm going to say something, so if this is triggering, I just want to bring that up for a second. So I am going to be, I do like reading books on the Holocaust, as I'm Jewish, so I'm big on history and all that. So I have always been interested in the books and movies. I just finished reading The Tattooist of Auschwitz. So I'm looking forward to watching the TV series on it.
I'll have to connect you with one of my tea time guests that was on, and she wrote a book about the Holocaust. I think you'd really like her story. I think it's her
Oh,
father's story that she wrote, The Warehouse of Holocaust or something like that. I'm trying to remember now. Yeah, and when my guests say certain things, and all of a sudden I have over 400 guests that I have to, oh, ding, 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 right? It's like a slingshot. And I'll connect you with this one. I'll connect you with that one. So I'm trying to remember her name for the life of me. I can't remember her name right now, but I do know which one, and I will connect you guys together because I think
okay,
connection is really important. Um,
absolutely,
you just never know who you connect with that might make a difference, that might open another opportunity for you as well, or
absolutely.
another project, or an activity. I want to get into vision boards with you, Erica, since we're
Sure.
talking about your story. When you look at a vision board, do you put like it in the middle first, onto the left side, onto the right side, or the bottom or the top?
Mm. So a vision board for me, I'm very indecisive. So I normally look in the middle first. So I know I started working on one. I started a creative one because I wanted to do a more creative focused one. I learned to be more focused on one area instead of being all over the place, or else my anxiety and everything's all over the place. So I focused on a creative one and the different things that I want to learn to do, such as learning how to cut and design my own stickers, learn how to use Procreate, and those are just some of the things I want to do. But yeah, so I went and found magazine clippings, and I usually start in the middle. I would start in the middle and then work my way out.
Well, the reason that I asked that is because I took a vision board course a couple years ago, and they had a different reason for like how you start your vision board is how you're
Yeah.
feeling inside on that day. And myself, I start in the middle. So it's the inner work, right? The inner dreams and goals and stuff that we have. If it's on to the top, it's over the top. There was different names for the top, the bottom, the left, and the right, right?
Oh, okay.
And I just found it very interesting that it came from within. And a lot of my work that I do comes from within.
Oh,
And that's what I get with your work too, is that it comes from within, the
yes.
passion and the heart behind it, right? And
Yes.
most advocates and speakers come from the heart, like from the center. We just have a couple more questions here. I'm just going to get them out here.
Sure.
How old were you when you shared your story publicly?
I was 38.
That's an interesting question. Um, do you believe in mental health or mental illness?
I believe there's both. There's not just one.
I'm not sure what this guest is, and this listener is trying to, because there are people that say mental illness and some that say mental health as well, right?
Right. So you can have a
Sure.
mental illness, but we all have mental health, and it's all how we equate those together. So I would say there's both.
Um, and then we have a question here. Do you believe in the campaigns that they have for mental health?
Pardon?
Do you believe in the campaigns that they have for mental health? I'm going to guess like Bell, Let's Talk, and stuff like that.
I do. I do believe that they do serve some purpose out there.
So if you could be anything in the world, what would you be?
Um, I wouldn't want to be anything else but myself because I'm already doing enough.
Oh, they gave a thumbs up for that answer. So I'm going to say that I get, a lot of people, they ask you, what would you want to be? And, I'm like you, Erica. I wouldn't want to be anybody else but myself. Um, but, if I could be anything in the world, I'd love to be a tiger
Hmm.
because tigers are so underestimated. And not one tiger is the same. Each one has different stripes and different markings. So I would just like to be a tiger. If you could be any animal, Erica, what animal would you be?
I'd probably want to be a giraffe because
Oh,
I've always been short. So if I could see the top of the world a little bit more, that would kind of be interesting to see what that would look like.
interesting animal, giraffe. So, Erica, if you'd like to put a special shout out and final words or anything that you'd like to mention, let's get that out there so people can reach out to you. I do believe you have a Facebook and an Instagram, so let's talk about a little bit about that before we wrap
Oh,
up.
yeah. So I just want to say thank you very much for having me. You can catch me on my Instagram at Fragments Mental Health. My website is fragmentsmentalhealth.com. My website has all of my information there. If you're not seeing anything that we've talked about this evening, feel free to reach out, and I'm happy to address all your questions and concerns.
So, if anybody would like to reach out, could you read and spell out your website so for the audio listeners?
Yes, it's FRAGMENTALTHEalth.com.
Thank you so much. You know, for my listeners out there, the ones that don't get to see this incredible video, you can always come over to the YouTube channel and you can check that out over there, right? And you can see the video, or you could check out Spotify. Spotify now has video and audio, so we can share and check it out there as well. Jump over to Miss Liz's Twitch channel. You can see me there. Twitter, let's really just push this tea time out there. For all the listeners that were listening tonight, thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Without all of you guys, we could not do this. We are going to be closing up Tea Time podcast in December. So if anybody would like to watch the Tea Times that have been on in 5 years, you can watch them. Go over to the YouTube channel. It's going to be up there for life. And you can watch this in 5 years and say, you know what? Where did that Erica go? Did you bring the project back? You can still reach out to Miss Liz and ask me questions. And that Miss Liz will be doing other things besides podcasting. So check over to the website, doing www.misslizsteatime.com. No S on tea time. And Erica, I really want to just thank you for sharing your story with me tonight and giving me the chance to get to know you a little bit better as well.
Oh, thank you.
And I want to thank everybody who has sent in all these incredible questions. Some of them they had me wondering, like, where are we going with this? And And if anybody that is suffering from mental illness, please reach out to your local areas. You have some resources, I believe, on your website, correct, Erica?
I do, yes.
And could you give them a shout out, which ones you have listed on your website?
So they are local to the Ottawa area, so they would be the Ottawa Distress Center. If you have any concerns or need to speak to someone, please reach out to the Ottawa Distress Center or your local area.
And anybody that's not in the Ottawa area, you can check out the Canadian Mental Health in America. You can check out NAMI. There's so many different organizations and platforms out there that have the services and that. And just reach out and say, you know what, I need help. There's nothing wrong with saying I need help. And I really want to thank everybody for tuning in. And if you're suffering from mental illness and you would just like to spill a tea or share a tea with Miss Liz, it doesn't need to be live on the broadcast. You can just reach out to me and we can have a conversation. We can do a one-on-one. I'm always open to having anybody come to me and say, you know what, Miss Liz, it's 1 o'clock in the morning and I can't sleep and Miss Liz is up. So you can send me a message. Erica knows that. We've talked a couple of nights, late nights. So again, I'm going to look forward to seeing you really soon, Erica, in the near future. And let's see what we can bring together. And that if anybody would like to see these and hear these tea times as well, you can check out the 3 radio stations, Radio 9, WFRM radio, and Ulster Radio. Miss Liz is also on those as well. So 2 in Ireland and 1 in the UK. And again, I want to thank everybody. And we will be back next week on Tuesday and Thursday. And then we're going to wrap up on a Thursday. So we have 3 more tea times to go for this month. Also on the 24th of this month, you'll see the release for July's lineup. Miss Liz is booked completely for the year. So, but I always slide in. If you have a story and it needs to be out there, Miss Liz will find a way to get it out there for you guys. So until then, take care of yourselves. Keep serving your tea. Keep staying true to yourselves and be real. And we'll all make a difference when we serve the real life tea of TEA of Miss Liz. So until then, stay tuned and I'll see everybody next week. Same time, same place. And we'll do it all over again.